So I have a client. Her name is Andrea, and Andrea has a very beautiful spirit. Shout out to Andrea. And if I'm not mistaken, she lives in Europe. And she's been struggling because someone that she loved very deeply died. And as you guys know, my best friend died last year in March. And I was depressed for like 7 months. It took a long time for me to come out of that depression, especially since I had just had a really bad situation happen with another friend, and that friendship ended. Well, he wasn't really a friend, but somebody pretended to be a friend. So I then my best friend died. So I understood. Let's just say I understood why she was struggling. Because honestly, I never struggled with death before, except for my grandmother. And I, of course, don't like it. I guess I am fearful of it. So I guess that is a struggle in itself. Because I like being here. I like being with you guys. I like being here. And I could see that Andrea was struggling because the person that died was like really close to her. Somebody she loved very much, about as much, if not more, as I love my best friend. So the last conversation I had with her in the comment section, I think it was, she asked me if I would do a reading on what happens when we die. I have never attempted a reading like this because I didn't want to know. I just told y'all I'm scared. I didn't want to know. But because Andrea asked me, I pulled cards on it. And Andrea, this one is for you. Here's your answers. My name is QueenAusetHeru, and um thank you for joining us. This is going to be a very intense reading. I'm not even going to go into my normal spiel. I'm just going to tell you straight up. This is going to be a very intense reading. I might cry. You might cry. I might hold it together. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm going to give you all the decks that I used underneath the video. My information is there. If you want a reading of your own, please hit me up. If you're interested in the decks that I use, check it out underneath the video. Um, and that's all I really can say. Let's just get started. The first question I asked was, what happens to humans when we pass away? And this was the card I get, Cerberus. Now, for those of you who are familiar, you would know that this comes from mythology. I think it's Greek mythology, if I'm not mistaken. And this indicates that we go to what they are calling the underworld. The underworld is just the other side. Um, it's basically, there is the physical world where we are right now, and there is the other side, which is the not so physical world. Um, and it's saying here that we just our body, of course, stays here, and our spirit goes back to this underworld. And in the cards that I'm getting ready to show you, I'm going to tell you what happens in this underworld. So death is definitely not the end. We definitely go someplace else. Now, I asked the goddess about it first. This is going to frame. Let me get the right card. This will frame everything, and then I'll take it from here. The goddess said that what happens is we pass away. Our body dies from whatever way it died, and somebody comes to get us. Interestingly enough, so I don't know. She said it was different in every vibration, but she said that different people come to get us. So for some people, Freya may come get you. Depending on what you believe, it seems like to me, based on what she was showing me, angels may come get you. I remember a long time ago, I was talking to my grandmother who passed over, and I said, "Please come get me when it's my time." So hopefully, that's who will come get me. So they said that somebody celestial, from the other side, comes to get you, and your body is left here. Of course, it's too dense; it can't go. It's too heavy; it can't go with you. So your body is here. And she said the best thing we should do, which I've always believed, and I think it's interesting that she said this because everybody doesn't do this. She said we should burn the bodies. Pele. This is about burning. So she said that let the soul go, burn the body, and use it to fertilize the earth. That's what the goddesses are saying we should be doing. Some cultures do this. Viking culture did this. There's some other cultures that do this too. Some cultures still do this. Some of us use cremation, for example. And they're saying that the only thing I see that's problematic is that we're not using it. The dust is not going back into the ground. Most of us keep the ashes, as a matter of fact, but actually it would be more beneficial to use them to fertilize the earth. Kind of like the cycle of life from the Lion King. So that's what they're telling me in the first spread here. So after she said that, I was very like interested. I'm like, oh snap, somebody coming to get us. you know? So what happens when they come get us? So she said, check this out. So I just told you the part of your body, your body is decaying, it's on the earth, and your soul is leaving with the heavenly being that has been assigned to come get you. So the heavenly being takes you here. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So I asked, what is this place, right? And they said, this is the other side. They said the other side is beautiful. There's love there. When you get there, you come up with your guide. There's love there. Your ancestors are there. All of the beings that love you are there. It's a beautiful place, they're telling me. And it's just like it's literally a utopia. A lot, and it was shocking to me because I know this is the description we get of heaven. Okay, so many of us have heard this before about the beauty of heaven, the love, that kind of stuff. So this tells me that really does happen. This card right here is what shocked me though, because they told me heaven is not this place that we think it is. It's not this pure place where everybody's just floating on clouds. They told me it's sensuality, there's sacred sexuality going on, there's fun. Heaven is not this prudish place where you just sit around writing in a scroll. It's a beautiful, fun place. I'm like, yo, this place look better than Earth, based on what they were showing me. So you go to this beautiful place and you're reunited with people that you love. There's dancing, there's sex, there's ecstasy from what they're telling me, and that's not the heaven I was told about. So I thought that was interesting too. That we go to this beautiful place, this ecstasy, and it's just like all love. There is no judgment. Also, um, see this card right here? When I talk about judgment, shame. So this card here says that we do basically what they call a life review. So after you get there and you've been there, you do a life review. A life review is where you see all the things that you were made to feel shameful about, all of the mistakes that you made. It's kind of like looking at everything that you've done, looking at your actions, looking at the lessons you've learned, the people you hurt, the people you helped. It's called a life review. So you look at everything you've done and you get to see it, right there. I don't know if it's on a TV screen or what, but they said you get to see everything you've done and you get to live through all of those moments. So really what I saw here is you really judging yourself. It's not so, I mean, there is another vibration here, but also is you looking at what you've done and saying, are you pleased with the life you've lived or not? So that's what comes here. We actually judge ourselves first. That's the first thing. The life inventory. We decide if we're happy with the life we've lived. So all that stuff you heard about, sex and stuff like that, it seemed like to me, basically, if it's, the sex is supposed to be secret, it's not supposed to be negative, and that's really where I see the problem coming in at. So if sexuality is positive and done in a way that's, I ain't gonna say pure because that's not really a pure thing. It is a lot of lust to it. But it's like it's honest. It's honest. The thing about sex and sexuality that I really think gets people in trouble is not like they'll say no sex before marriage and things like that. No, it's not that. What gets you in trouble is the dishonesty. Being with people who energy and spirit isn't right for you. Stuff like that is where the problem really comes in. So when you go to the other side, you don't have that issue. Everybody who's there are souls that are vibrating at the same way. And how did I find that out? Is from right here. Because I was like, well, does that mean that we all go to the same place? Do we all go to this heaven, to this utopia? And the answer is no. This is how we find out. Those of us, look at this Six of Wands. Those of us who have lived a proper life and are happy with our contributions to the world, Six of Wands, will be rewarded for your efforts. So that beautiful place I was talking about, the other side is just the other side. There is no, different aspects of it. It's just the other side. It's how you experience it. So if you've been a good person, if you've looked out for other people, you've looked out for yourself, you've done what you came here to do, your life purpose, your life mission, then you are going to be rewarded by your actions. Remember they talk about karma? This is actions right here. This is what you did. This is the Ace of Wands. What did you create? What did you do? What were your actions? What is your karma is based on your actions. So if you came into the world and made it a better place, or did the best that you could to make it a better place, then your actions will get you rewarded with this beautiful place that I was talking about that comes up right here. That's the place. That's the same space that we just saw Oshun in, that loving place. The Ten of Cups, a loving place with your ancestors and the familiar energies that are around you. That's where you go. But if you did not take proper actions, if you did not live a life that you're pleased with, you go here. Look at this. Darkness. This is the moon. It's the moon reversed. The moon reversed is the dark side of the moon. And we all know what that looks like. Well, not really. We've never seen the dark side of the moon. But we know that it's dark. We know that it's dark and it's a shadow. It's the other side that doesn't, shine down on earth. So there are people who were in the other side who were in a dark place because of their own actions. This card right here, it says these are people who have been nasty. They've been bitches, straight up. They've been mean. They've been nasty. They've done negative things to people. They have used their magic in ways to hex or curse. They have been evil. They have been straight up evil to people, especially people who didn't deserve it. They've just been cruel. They've been cruel, evil people. They've treated people like commodities. They didn't care about people. They didn't have an open heart. These are messed up people. And they go to this dark ass place because that is what their deeds took them to. Okay? So that's what they're telling me. So no, we don't all go to the same place. Well, we all go to the same place, which is the other side, but we all don't have the same experience in the other side. It's kind of like Earth. Some of you right now are having a very good experience. Some of you have had a good life. Some of you were born into a beautiful family. Some of you had all the opportunities that you wanted. Some of you got to travel. Some of you now are starting families or have a family, and now you're doing good with your life, your business, your relationships. And some of you are miserable. Some of you were born into crack families or families that had, abusive, legacies. Some of you have no family. Some of you have been, abused or, orphaned. I mean, all kinds of stuff has happened to you. Some people have had a little bit of stuff happen to them. We've all had different experiences. That's what the other side is like. Based on the deeds that you committed on this side, it will dictate what happens on the other side. So if you've been a jerk on this side, like this energy here, you are not going to have a positive, happy experience. You're basically just going to be in a dark, scary kind of place. So that's what I got from these. Wait a minute. Hold up. I got some more cards. A lot more cards here. Okay. So, all right. So we're in this place and we got to look at these two. These are from the angels. I asked the angels to chime in with their, understanding, because of course they are. Some of us will be taken up, will be picked up, will be Remember I said when they first came to get you, Freya said a spirit comes to get you. For some of us, a spirit will be an angel. It depends. So for those of us, again, who've done good deeds, we will come into this energy. A pink, beautiful, happy, compassionate, self-care energy. We'll be on the other side, chilling, making love. We'll be, after we finish our life review and everything. And then we got some other things we're going to do. We're going to see those at the end. But for the most part, we're going to be enjoying the fruits of the labor that happened on earth. Those who did not do so, look at this top part here. Come on. Come on. I can't. There it is. Indecision, ego, lost in judgment. So the people who I said before, the ones who have not had good deeds and they're going to that dark place, that's what they're going to be doing in that dark place. They're going to be wandering around. They're going to be indecisive. They're going to be lost with their own ego, and they're going to be judging themselves. So they know they didn't do a good job here. They know that whatever they did was wrong. They know they messed up. They knew that when they was here, for real, for real. So then they get on the other side and they do their life review, and they see that they've made all these choices. Some of them will choose to repent, but they tell me most of them do not, and they just kind of stay in this dark ass place. This one right here, yeah, it says that they stay in this vulnerable, cluttered, shadowy, confused place. So those of us who don't, get it together and be over here, this is what you can imagine. And the thing about it is, I thought was beautiful. The angels said they're still with us here. So they don't just leave us in a dark place and abandon us. They're still trying to talk to us. They're still trying to encourage us. This car has came up upside down. They're still trying to get us to turn things around. Even after we've died, the angels are still trying to get us to save our own souls, to not judge ourselves so harshly, to accept what is. So there's never a point where you're hated or you're unloved. It's a point where they're like, hey, you didn't do so good here, so what you want to do about it? And there's options of what you can do about it. According to the angels, you could sit there in this hell space, this dark, hot space, or you can actually take yourself and go someplace else. Because it says here that you can choose. Well, this one right here is talking about choosing to come out of your ego and going back. This is going to be reincarnation. We're getting ready to see this in a minute. And some people can also choose to stay in heaven with the angel. Not on the other side. I call it the heaven. Some people can choose to stay in this dark place with the angels and work through it. So they're not damned at that point. We always had a thing in Catholic school, like once you went down there, you was done. You couldn't come out. That's not true. According to this, you can always come out, but you have to admit what you did, admit that you were wrong, release the ego, and then they will help you figure out how to heal what got you there. And we're getting ready to see that in a moment. So hell is not a permanent state if you choose to make different decisions. Now, this is interesting, right? Let me show this to you guys. I have this deck. It's called, what is it called? The Beloved Dead Oracle. I love this deck so much. And with this deck, I talk directly to my own ancestors. And I asked them to chime in and tell me about what happens, what the options are. So my ancestors said that you can stay in the beautiful place. Remember we talked about the other side? If you've been rewarded, you can just stay there. You can stay there and you can just like enjoy it. You can enjoy the beauty, the energies that's there. watch over your loved ones. You can just stay as is, they told me. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to reincarnate. You don't have to do anything. Once you have lived a good life, learned the lessons you were supposed to learn, you can just stay on the other side and just be one of those spirit beings that helps people, a spirit guide. Or you can just stay and do what you want to do. You can just stay as is. You don't have to do anything else. Once you've completed your mission, you don't have to. So those of us who are here right now, either we didn't complete our mission or we wanted to come back and do something else. So it's a choice to be here. So don't feel like you were forced to be here. You chose to be here according to this, because you could have stayed in the all and did this. The only way you couldn't stay in the all, the other side, is if you did not get rewarded. Okay? So those of us who are rewarded, we can stay, we can come back, we can pretty much come and go as we please. But if you're not rewarded, some of the people who are not rewarded, some of those who've lived bad lives, they will go to that dark place. Remember we talked about that hell space? And some of them stay here. They're earthbound spirits. And we've talked about this. Ghosts, hauntings, things like that. That's real. They're earthbound spirits. These are spirits that need to go to the other side, but they're afraid to go to the other side because they know they're going to be judged. Okay? So when they die and the spirit comes to get them, they refuse to go. Those are ghosts. So that's basically what it is. They don't want to be judged. And there's also other kinds of ghosts. There's residual ghosts. That's just like a imprint of energy on a particular house or a particular land. But these are intelligent hauntings I'm talking about. Ones where the spirit is there because they want to be there. They haven't left for a millennia because they don't want to. These are hauntings. And these are people who either did not want to let go of their life. They didn't want to go to the light because out of fear, or could have been they wanted to stay with somebody. They was afraid to leave somebody, something like that. But this is a choice. So people who are haunting refuse to go to the light. I knew this one already because I've already talked to spirits a number of times, and the ones that I've had spirits tell me they weren't going anywhere. To my face. I've had them say, nah, you and that sage, you can keep burning it because I ain't leaving. So these are those people. They're afraid to be judged, which really they're only going to be judging themselves, but they're afraid. So they stay earthbound. Then these are the ones who reincarnate. And look who reincarnates. The witches. So the people that you know in your life who are magical beings, these are witches, these are priestess, these are shaman, these are people who are gurus, and not the fake ones. I ain't talking about the fake ones that's just taking people money and not doing nothing for them. The ones who come back that have the gifts, the psychics, the mediums, the ones who really have the gift. Those of you out there listening to this that are empathic, you have strong intuition. You might be a priestess to your family, formally or informally. We are the reincarnated. Remember I said we came back? We came back. We chose to come back. And I'm going to tell you why. They said we chose to come back to help the others. And I believe this 100% because I remember I did a past life regression. And when I did my past life regression, I don't tell a lot of people this story, but I'm going to tell y'all real quick. When I did my past life regression, I saw myself standing on some surface. I don't know what the surface was. And I was talking to the light. And the light was responding to me. I understood the light as God. And the light was telling me, you don't have to go back to Earth. You can stay here. There's things you can do here as is. And I said, no, I want to go help. This was my choice. So those of you who are here right now, who are witches, who are shaman, who are old souls, wise ones, or will be in the future, you are the reincarnated. Okay? Now, there's also some brand new souls here. So they are not reincarnated because they're new. So it's quite a few things going on. You have options. You can stay If you've done your job, you can stay up here and relax. You can go back if you so choose, if you want to help. Those who have not done what they got to do, they end up in a different space. So this is really, this is the incarnation aspect. Not everybody's going to choose to reincarnate. It's a choice. All right. And this is funny. I asked the fairies about this, and the only reason why I asked the fairies was because I got a new fairy deck, and I wanted to see what information they would give because they're supposed to be a totally different being. And the fairy said we're lucky. And I was like, wow. She said those of us who pass over are lucky. And I was like, why are we lucky? And she said that many of us are blessed. We get to go to this beautiful, enthusiastic, amazing place that we see right here. This soft, peaceful place. And she said that we're blessed. We're blessed to be able to go there for a life well lived. Remember the rewards I mentioned? So it's like when people die, don't be sad about it because the ones that did their job are going to a beautiful place. And let me tell you about the other ones, okay? So she said that we're lucky, we're blessed. Then they said to me that it's an enthusiastic kind of place, a beautiful place. And they said that after we're done, remember I said we go through the stages, and then the last stage was the stage where you actually did a life inventory. Then you get to manifest. Now you can be wondering, what do I manifest on the other side? Whatever you want. That's when you decide, do you want to come back? Do you want to stay? There's, whatever you're going to manifest next. Now, people who, I remember I said people who haven't lived a good life, these people can manifest too. Those people, the ones who've crossed over and are in this hellish space, they can work with the angels and manifest another fresh start. Let's say, for example, you find yourself in this hellish space and you say to the angels, I made a mistake. I want to go back. I want to do this again. You can manifest that. According to what they told me, you can manifest that. All the person has to do is just admit that they were wrong, admit that they messed up. That's all they got to do is fess up and then tell the angels they're sorry. Please help me. I want to do this again. I want to fix what was messed up. And they can do that through this manifestation process. So when we die, our spirit goes on. Remember Dumbledore said to the well-trained mind, death is but the next great adventure? He's right. It is the next great adventure. Because after you leave here, you see all your loved ones, you have some fun, and what looked like to me Valhalla, but they didn't call it that. So I'm just like, it's a fun place. And then after you have some fun, you do some life inventory, and then you decide what you want your soul to do next. That's it. That's what happens. So don't be afraid of passing over. I'm mostly speaking to myself. Like, don't be afraid of passing over because none of this here looks bad. It's just the people we leave behind. That's the sad part. They miss us and we miss them. We can more than likely visit them based on these vibrations. Vibrationally speaking, we can visit those on this plane. Just because we're not on this plane anymore doesn't mean we can't come back to it, but we can't live on this plane anymore unless we're doing that haunting thing. But if you've gone to the light and you've, done your inventory and all that kind of stuff, you more likely would be a spirit guide or something like that. So you do get to come back. You just don't get to be here in a physical form because your body's gone. Now, these are the last three things. I said, does anybody else want to chime in about what happens before we die? So, Babaji, Melchizedek, I know I didn't say that right, and Buddha, all three of them chimed in. So, Babaji said, spiritual awakening. So in that moment, right, when we go on the other side, especially those of us who have lived a good life, we know the interconnectedness of all things at that moment. We understand the inner workings of the cosmos at that moment. All of us really will understand it because we go on the other side and your understanding is different. Even if you are somebody who goes to that darker, hot place, that's hell. It didn't look exactly like the vision of hell that the pastor gave me as a kid, fire and brimstone. It was hot. It was hot and dark though. I didn't see people being tortured. I just saw a hot, dark place, and I saw angels trying to get people to look up, talk to me, trying to get people to, cooperate, to look at what they've done, to move forward. That's what I saw. So when this card right here says you understand everything at that point, when you pass back over, because your soul already knows, you just forgot in your human form. So when we pass over, it says here, let me move this, you know the interconnectedness and you understand the cosmos again like you did before. They said that divine knowledge comes to you, especially if you're somebody who is on, in the happier space. Knowledge can come to you in a darker space too. They just told me that those people refuse. So it's not somebody punishing them, they punishing themselves. They refuse to open up, they refuse to tap into the learning, they refuse the light. And that's what Buddha was talking about, the light. Buddha said that you have a heightened awareness on that side, and all you feel is peace. You feel peace. So, like I said before, those of us who choose that experience will have beauty and peace. So that is what happens when we die. A lot of it is very interesting to me because I didn't realize so much of it relied upon choice. I didn't think so much of it revolved around choice. And as we can see here, a lot of it is choice. But it's not, like I said, you're not stuck. Even if you make bad choices on the other side, you're not stuck in this place. There's still the possibility for redemption. So if you have a loved one that was rotten to the core, pray for them. Pray for their soul. Pray that they will, go to the light. If you have a spirit in your home, pray that it will go to the light. Or, cleansing methods do actually work, but some spirits are really stubborn and they'll just refuse regardless of what cleansing methods you used. I've done about 30 house cleansings and I've only had one spirit refuse to leave. So in general, they will. But those stubborn ones, those are the ones you got to watch out for. So let me know if you have any questions or if you want me to do a follow-up video to this. This is a very different kind of video, but I really love the topic. Okay? Come back soon. I got a lot more to say.